Hey, what's up, guys? Max here, and today we're going to be talking about the news that Kabam released when it comes to Season 10, what to expect, what are the changes. We're not going to dive into so much of my thoughts when it comes to it. I'm just going to kind of break it down, so it's going to be a quick video. But let's jump right into the forums so we can kind of see basically the information that Kabam released. So, as you guys know, the long delay, which is a 2-week delay from the end of Season 9 to Season 10, means that it starts on August 9th, which is not this week, which is not literally yesterday, since today's Thursday, when the Season 10 starts. And a lot of that has to do with the Battleground Brawl. It's right there on the title. I almost forgot about it, but it's going to go all the way until September 6th. And just so you know, it's actually part of this. We're going to kind of skip around just because we covered this on the stream, but you're watching this. If you didn't get to see the stream, you're going to be able to watch this. Season's length. So Season 10 is going to actually get extended normally. Where I live is Pacific time, so it ends at 10 a.m. Pacific time on that Wednesday. Well, it's going to end at 3 p.m. So it's going to go and increase 5 hours. So keep that in mind, especially if you're like at the edge of falling off from the the bracket you're in at the end of the season. Know that every single player is going to have 5 hours more to play, so prep accordingly with that information. So just know, season's going to be extended by 5 hours because of that. There is a reason why. This is only planned for Season 10, and we want to make sure that we have ample time to fully vet the leaderboards for the Battleground Brawl qualifiers. So don't understand why they need 5 hours of the season active. Maybe I'm assuming. That's actually very interesting to know. Maybe I'm assuming here that they only can flush the players while the season's active. Interesting. Okay, that's interesting. They can't do it afterwards, huh? All right. Probably doesn't look like they can do it afterwards. But all right. So here's one of the biggest changes, though, for Season 10. It's the start of seeding. And what that means is basically we're going to be like in the qualifier Season 10. We don't really get placed immediately in Season 10. So seeding starts on Season 10. And what that means, seeding is a new system added to the Battlegrounds to allow summoners to start their season part way up the victory track. Well, here, okay, let's keep reading because I'm gonna get to something very important. It will be introduced in Season 10, and summoners will have their first seeded season starting Season 11. This means whatever you ranked in Season 10, it's going to affect where you start on Season 11. This is a really good thing for smaller accounts, for players that are just getting into Battlegrounds. That means that when it comes to like the entire player base, the entire community, the entire player base of Marvel Contest of Champions doesn't just start at the same spot, meaning the guy with the biggest account, the guy with the biggest expertise in Battleground doesn't start with you and you're at the smallest account possible that just entered Battleground. So that's not the case. Now what we're going to be seeing is the players that end up at the top of the Season 10 are going to start up higher, as opposed to players that don't even make it into the Gladiator circuit, or how high depending they make it, they're going to start at the bottom. So, well, actually, depending on where you make it, you're going to start. That's actually how it's going to be. How does this work? Yeah, I just kind of covered that right now. I should have jumped. Don't jump ahead. Basically, each season, summoners, and this is going to stay ongoing too. This from Season 10 is the start, and it's not going away unless Kabam notices something that's wrong with it. They might kind of tweak it to change it. So each season, summoners will be demoted 6 ranks from where they ended the last season. The only exceptions to this is summoners cannot be seeded higher than Plat 1. This means that summoners at the top of Vibranium, as well as in the Gladiator circuit, will be seeded into Plat 1. For most of the players, most of the circles that I play with, and if you're watching this, you probably made it into the Gladiator circuit, and if you didn't, shoot for that. But if you can't, you're gonna basically, any player that makes it to the Gladiator circuit at the end of the season, here's the ranks. you're gonna start at plat 1. So what that means is you're gonna be starting here at platinum 1, and you're gonna have to work your way to a new diamond 4. We'll cover that right now. Diamond 3, 2, 1, vibranium 3, 2, and 1. So before we only had vibranium 1, now they've added 3 and 2, and they added a diamond 4, which again, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Okay. How do the rewards work? So you might be asking, okay, so if in season 11 I literally start in platinum 1, what about all these platinum 2, 3, gold, silver, and bronze rewards? The trophy tokens, the elder marks, the relics, even though they're 3-star relics, I want them. What about those? Don't worry, you are going to get them. So it's going to be incredibly easy for the players that push at the top to get it immediately rewards for just playing right after season 11 starts, because basically, where is it? Boom. Okay, so yeah, I jumped so ahead of myself that I lost track of where I was at. Okay, here we are. Summoners will get the rewards below where they were seeded after playing 5 matches during the season. This means if you were seeded in Plat 1, which is what the example we were just talking about, you will need to play 5 matches to get the rewards from Bronze 3 all the way to Platinum 2. So basically from this portion of it all the way to Platinum 2, because everybody's going to start in Platinum 1 if you made it to the Gladiator circuit, you're going to get all those rewards by just playing 5 matches. See how quickly, instead of playing, I don't even know how many matches, but it's definitely over 5, let's say 15 or 20 matches. To get to Platinum 1, you just got to play 5, and you get all the rewards. So you're not missing out. Kabam thought about this, actually. Was one of my worries when I first saw this, to be like, oh, wait, are we going to get screwed just because we're going to be placing higher? We're not getting screwed. You're getting all the rewards. You're actually going to have a quicker time to get all these trophy tokens, elder marks, and also the relics. So the victory track update. So this is one of the biggest updates along with the seeding that's happening in Season 10. Season 10 is adding 3 new ranks to the victory track. With this introduction of seeding, we want to extend the victory track, as summoners will no longer have to progress through the entirety of it, which is incredibly good. We still, even though summoners players want to be in the Gladiator circuit immediately, a lot of depending on how you play Battlegrounds, depending of who you are, a lot of, I would say, including myself, a lot of us can get into the Gladiator circuit like within the first week. Now we've seen it with happening within the first days. Now with this new seeding starting season 11, even in season 10, I foresee that there's going to be players that literally enter the Gladiator circuit within the first 24 hours. It is probably going to be possible as long as there's enough people playing within the first 24 hours and moving up within the 24 hours for a player to possibly get into the Gladiator circuit right away. But because season 11, it's going to introduce the new seeding, meaning we all start in Platinum 1. Season 10, I don't want to confuse you too much, but Season 10, we're going to start already with the new tracks, meaning those ones that are highlighted right there below. You see the Diamond 4, Diamond 3, and 2. Those are going to be the new introductions to Battlegrounds as a track in the victory track. So we're going to see those, which means we get more rewards. We're going to get 3,600 more tokens on Diamond 4, 55 on Vibranium 3, and 55 on Vibranium 2, which means more tokens for you to spend, which gave me an idea in the live stream, which we'll talk about in another video. Elder marks, we're going to get some of those as well, and we get some 6-star relic shards, which is 2,000 in total. Some also half of a 5-star relic shard, because we're going to get 5,000 of that. But as you can see, we get some relic shards when it comes to those 2 new tracks that are being added, and it makes complete sense to add more tracks within the more players you end up in the Gladiator circuit. I think ultimately 3 is a nice testing ground for now, but we might end up needing a little bit more before we start getting into the Gladiator circuit. The victory track, to be honest, is, now that it's going to get cut in half, it's actually a really good place to just play. Once you get into the Gladiator circuit, it obviously metas change, but it's definitely fun. A lot of people play tournaments based off the victory track. So the more time you're in the victory track, the more you can play against random players, the better experience you can, the funner it is. I know friendlies is an option for people to practice, but friendlies does require someone to be a friend of you. No, but it does require someone to be available to be able to practice with you. So the longer sometimes the victory track is for practices and tournaments, that's actually a pretty good thing. One of the other things that changed too, okay, so we used to have these medals, right? You need medals to qualify to the next bracket. So bronze medals require rank up. It's going to go from 2 to 3. So right now we're going to see that in season 10. Don't be alarmed. You're like, whoa. Remember this, if you're watching this, that you're going to require 3 medals to move up. From silver medals, we require 3 before. So this is at the top right here at the beginning stages. They're going to require 4 to move up. Now, a lot of us are going to see this in season 10 and we're going to be like, oh, more playing. Trust me, enjoy the time you're in the victory track. You're not going to be in the victory track and going to do this and repeat this at all in season 11, especially if you're a player that gets into the gladiator circuit and stays there for a long time. And so we're going to be seeing that, and that's going to be basically a thing for the smaller accounts for them to compete within those ranks. So they're going to have to play a little bit more Battlegrounds when it comes to the bottom of the victory track. So that's interesting for them too. I think that makes for a good experience for smaller accounts and for bigger accounts because we get more ranks, more tracks, sorry, and then they have to play a little bit more in the victory track down below. So I think so far I'm liking every single change besides the delay that season 10 took, meaning an extra week. But let's get into the matchmaking. Hopefully I didn't miss anything because I felt like I just jumped around. How does this work? We cover that. Victory track updates, we cover that, which is huge. And I big thumbs up for that. Matchmaking in the season length, we kind of jumped into that. Okay, matchmaking. In season 10, we're making some more matchmaking changes. Our intent is to make matchmaking less focused on account power in the early ranks of the victory track. Over the past number of seasons, we've been lowering how much account power plays into the matchmaking into the early ranks of the victory track. We've been making these changes because we've noticed high numbers of summoners with weak account power having much more easier time getting up to the gladiator circuit due to them only matching up with accounts with similar power. So basically means if the power of your account, the size of your account, if I'm not mistaken, that's how that's being played, was taking a huge role on who you were matching. So my account would probably only be matching accounts that were stacked like me. And so we would, like, if you can just match a brawl, people fighting it out, to the death. We were basically with my size account, while the smaller accounts, probably somewhat skilled players, were speeding through the victory track because they were matching. My account and them, we never matched at the beginning of the season. So as seasons progress, and we're now in season 10. The matchmaking between the size of power of your account has completely opened up higher, meaning that you're going to now match me. So one of the smaller accounts are going to match me now as we play the victory track in season 10. That's kind of what they're referring to. This means that often the easier is to have a fresh, uncollected account with a Paragon experienced summoner crushing through the victory track, which is what I was just saying. We feel that this is a pretty unreasonable and that it's heavily skewed the matchmaking and Battlegrounds experience for summoners for both high and low account powers. Now, there is something here to cover, and like I said, I am going to cover this in another video, but the changes we made to this point have already seen some great results. Inevitably, it will be led to some uneven matches where massive accounts punch down against newer folks. It is unfortunate, but this change will allow those accounts to climb faster than others, allow them to progress out of the lower level matchmaking pool sooner. That's the other video. Okay. With seeding being introduced, these accounts should be moving higher ranks even faster, and each season will see fewer and fewer matches with large disparity of account power. So what they're saying, basically, season 10 is probably the last season we're going to see. And if you're a small account, the season 10 is probably going to be the last time you see this big mix match. So right now, season 10 is going to see big accounts versus small accounts. We're just going to see all kinds of craziness at the beginning of season 10. But what's expected is as season 11 starts, those big accounts are going to start higher. The smaller accounts are going to start all the way at the bottom, allowing people to not match each other, big account to small account, as much. But once, let's say that big account doesn't start playing until like week 1 because of life, then and smaller account has been playing, pushing their way up, then you will end up matching each other. So just keep that in mind if you still end up matching each other in season 11. We're going to continue monitoring this and ensure that the battleground feels fair for summoners of all skill levels. The introduction of seeding is going to shake up the rank. The rank summoner starts each season and spend most of their time in. So this will be the last match making change for a few seasons to let us collect data on how changes in the landscape of the victory track. So good, but I understand why data needs to be collected. I hope that if we can kind of give some feedback to Kabam and see some alarming situations because of this change, that they jump on it and do some changes. But for now, it looks like season 10, 11, maybe even 12, they're just going to be collecting data when it comes to like how the matchmaking system is working. Okay. Season 10 metas, we've known these metas, so I'm not going to cover those. We can cover those in a separate video, but we've known the victory track meta, we've known the gladiator circuit meta. Both they're going back with 2 weeks, 2 changes. So week 1 and 2, and then starting week 3, 3 and 4, the meta changes. I still don't know how I completely feel about this. I feel like it was a little bit. I felt like maybe this season will give me more of an understanding how my feelings are about just 2 metas in an entire month, so 4 weeks of playing, but only 2 changes. It did feel kind of lengthy. I think the last week, which is week 3 and ideally would have been 3 and 4, I think that's the meta that should be changed twice. If anything, we should have 3 different metas. I think that's where my feelings are at the moment. But for now, we're going to be trying again something that was changed. It makes it easier on the system. It makes it easier on Kabam to not constantly create different buffs for the season. We used to have 4 sets of different buffs. Each week it was changing and rotating, which caused a lot of people to hate not play certain metas, and it caused people not to have enough time to understand the meta. And that's why I say the last 2 should probably be the ones that change, and that might not make sense, but it makes it more competitive. It makes it a little bit harder. So if on the final week you hate that meta and you're just not understanding, having a bad time, don't have the right champions ranked up, or just can't catch on right away, that allows somewhat of an advantage or disadvantage to all players because everybody's starting from like not knowing how that meta works. So I feel like that makes it a little bit even harder. So that's my thinking, but I can see why they went this way. It just gives players more time to get the understanding of the meta, because I remember on last season, week 3, once it started, dude, I immediately understood the meta, and like I went all the way to the top of Celestials, and by like day 4, people were understanding the meta and they were playing it better. So it was a little bit harder to just smash on people. But day 1 and 2, I was just like eating everybody alive when it comes to last season 9. But so far, guys, the changes are great. We get more tokens. Matchmaking is going to be interesting. The seeding is definitely interesting. More easier, quicker rewards for you. I think we're gonna probably want to see more tracks in the season 11 or 12. It's probably going to feel extremely fast to get into the gladiator circuit, but I think that's the goal, is to get a lot of the sweats players, into the gladiator circuit. Let me know if you have any questions, definitely, or concerns about the season 10 in the comments. What are your thoughts on this? Like I said, I didn't want to go into what I think is going to happen. We'll leave that to a separate video, but I did want to just cover this for anybody looking for the information. Starting August 9th, keep that in mind. Put it on your calendar. It's going to go start August 9th. And if you're going to be playing till the end, make sure that Friday morning or Friday night, depending on where you live, you add an additional 5 hours to your clock to the ending of season 10, since it's going to get extended 5 additional hours. But let me know your thoughts, guys. Take care. Smash the like button for me, please. And don't forget to hit the subscribe as well, so if you have not, for some Battlegrounds season 10. Oof, I'm excited, man. I am excited to start season 10. Take care. See you in the next one. Peace.